I want to welcome you to the most livable community in the world. Now all we need is the most livable world.
Today, you are part of the largest day of climate action the world has ever seen.
On October 24, in every corner of the globe, we will gather at rallies large and small to show that we are united.
And to tell our leaders that we need action this year.
You need to keep the pressure on us, not just on Stephen Harper and Gordon Campbell at that level, but also at the local level. We need to know that these are issues that are of concern to you, that you are prepared to give us the support that we need to do the kinds of things that are going to make a difference.
We're presenting the petition. The petition stems from an event which was held in Gibsons on October the 24th. We decided that the structure that we would put it in was hopefully a nonpartisan delegation to present this, to show the wide support for it. We have Don Sugar representing the regional government. We have Bob Curry, who is a member of both the provincial and the federal Liberals. George Smith is a member of the NDP, and Jenny Groves is a member of the Greens. And I have spent close to a month looking for a conservative who would join our group, and I'm afraid I failed. And Celine Rose is here as a representative of youth in the future, because she has the most right to speak on this subject, because her generation is the one that will suffer if we fail.
Our way of life is unsustainable. The sooner we transform our economy into one that can generate sustainable prosperity, the better off we'll be. And with every passing day, the risk of catastrophe grows larger and more certain. We need to change now.
The time we live in is an absolutely exciting, fantastic time to be alive, because we have some relevance. It's a time to celebrate rather than remorse that we happen to find ourselves with this huge challenge in front of us. Because we can actually make a difference. We can have a legacy. We can have an impact on the future of our planet and our people, which is a fantastic thing, I think.
Realism now means very different, incompatible things to two generations. The world looks dramatically different if the year 2050 is the one you're likely to be alive to see.
We also need to send a message to our government, to the Harper government, who's dragged its feet and seems to have no concept of how important this is.
And I come with a little gift before my question today. It is a picture of the 348 people that met in Gibsons on October 24th for the 350 Day of Political Action. And I have a framed picture for you, as well as some commitments that a number of people made on that day to their pledges for a 350 world. So here you are. Thanks. Canada's Parliament, represented by all three opposition parties, passed a motion on Tuesday, December 8th, 137 votes to 124, to cut greenhouse gases by 25% below 1990 levels by 2020. Now, what I just mentioned from the Conservative Party was 2006 levels, which are much higher. So this target also reflects the latest proposal made in Copenhagen yesterday. It's significantly deeper than what your government is proposing and is in line with most European countries' targets and represents what the majority of Canadians support. So I'd really like it if you could explain why your party's targets are so embarrassingly weak at 3% below 1990 levels by 2020, and also describe how your party intends to change due to the overwhelming global support for our climate treaty.
One of the most corrosive things that happens in government is when people make promises with no intention of delivering on them. And that's what happened when the Kyoto Accord was created.
As an economist, I'm appalled that you're not taking advantage of the new economy. You're stuck in the fossil fuel economy, and Canada is falling behind the world.
I was the National Conservation Director for a national environmental organization in Canada. And so I've had dealings with governments all across Canada and provincial and national for many years. like that sign says over there, I'm not particularly ashamed to be a Canadian. I'm ashamed of the performance of our Prime Minister, your leader, on the climate change issue.
This war is about to get a lot more heated, far more heated than anything we've ever seen in half a century. To younger people, this isn't just policy, it's personal.
I don't see anything of substance that's going to deal with particularly the tar sands, which is probably the most single deleterious environmental problem in the world, and is basically being supported by your premier party.
To be young and aware today is to see your elders burning down civilization around our ears, to hear scientists tell us we're in the final countdown, with the risk of a runaway climate change, along with ecosystem collapses and horrific human suffering it will bring. Mounting with every day, we run business as usual.
But come on, this is the largest single problem facing the world, and we're being denigrated internationally for being the fossils of the world in terms of actually doing something. So I'd like to know what you, as our representative, are going to do beyond, with respect, beyond parroting what your premier is saying, which isn't going to do the job.
I have a message for Stephen Harper about the efforts he's been doing. Please resign from office and get out of here so we can get to work. We've got a lot to do. The world's got a lot to do, and Copenhagen doesn't look very good right now.
I think the Beatles song you will be remembered by is not "All You Need Is Love," but "Fool on the Hill."
It's a tremendously serious problem, and I want to do what we're going to do in Ottawa beyond the superficial. Thank you.
We've heard that type of statement from time to time, that you said that we are fossils in the world. Well, I was just in China last week, Hong Kong and Korea. I was in places where environmental degradation is being carried on at a much greater rate than it is in Canada. And I can tell you that because we are world leaders, because our Prime Minister is so highly recognized on the international stage, we are able to influence countries with a much bigger and more negative effect on the environment than Canada could ever achieve.
The Canadian federal government for 12 years has generally stalled the introduction of renewable energy technologies, so have successive governments of British Columbia. We need to keep doing more to bring that about. I can assure you these technologies exist today to help reduce emissions in a remarkable fashion.
And George, I'm going to take you to task. I'm not a parent, and I am repeating what our government is trying to achieve.
I'm sure you don't believe that the tar sands are okay.
What I do believe is that as individuals we have to do things that allow us to live with ourselves and be sure that we're handing on our world to children like my 3 little kids and their children and their children. I love the idea that we borrow the planet and we hand it on to future generations. As an individual, you've heard about the fact that my bike is my favorite vehicle, and my dad was a famous environmentalist and did great things for the world. And my family, we love camping and we recycle religious. No, I'm not. You asked me what am I personally doing, and I think it's important for me
about the tar
personally
sands. I meant about the tar sands. What are you personally doing about the tar sands?
You know, you can ask me what I'm personally doing about a whole array of things. I can tell you what I am doing. I'm trying to live not only as somebody that can look in the mirror and be proud of what I'm doing, but also as a role model. I think as a parliamentarian, I have to be able to do these things. And you have to do more than role model.